I'm at a clinic at the moment, and we're going to look at the blood cells. So I've got a doctor here. She's amazing, an incredible doctor. And we're going to look at the blood cells under a microscope. And we don't have a vaccinated person here, but she's tested vaccinated blood, and we've got some photos that she's taken.
Yeah, this is a dark field microscope, so we can actually do live blood analysis with this microscope. And we can take the blood and look right away under the microscope, and you can still see these things are still alive. They are microorganisms, they're moving around. So this is all healthy microbes. They're very important to have them in the blood. These are our red blood cells, and we're aiming here that they're really round and separated, so one by one. These are the white blood cells, the leukocyte, and you can actually also see there is movement in the cell, which is really important that they're active. Yeah, so this is important to see.
And what is this, Dr. Peggy?
Well, a microscope.
And what's the exact name for this, and what does it do?
It's a dark field microscope, so the background is actually black. And when you use light field microscopes, you need to color the object, so you wouldn't see anything otherwise.
Right.
Yeah, so by using a dark field, we can just use the blood and look right to it. So we have attached a little camera here, so we can see it on the screen.
Okay. And this is healthy blood, right? Yeah. So we're testing it live. We're testing Dr. Peggy's blood live. And what we can see is less aggregation. This was tested a while ago, right? This was put under a while ago. And we're seeing the quality of the cell, of the blood cell, intact. So it's not damaged, it's good quality blood cells.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is an example of good blood cells, okay? This is an oversimplification, guys. What we're going to do today is we're going to see, right, we're going to see normal blood compared to vaccinated blood. Very simple. We're going to compare both bloods and see normal blood versus vaccinated blood, unvaxxed versus vaxxed. All right, so what we can see, we're looking at a live feed of Dr. Peggy's blood, and we can see good quality blood cells. Do you want to add anything before we look at?
No, that's pretty much it. What is also important actually that the serum space is clean like here, so there shouldn't be any things what you will see soon on the vaccinated people. So we found very strange stuff in his blood, which I haven't seen in 30 years doing microscopy. So it's.
So when did your patient come in? This client, when did he come in, and when did you test his blood, and what vaccine did he get?
Yeah, so meanwhile I have seen a lot of different patients, some of them right on the same day even, some patients after a week or two, or months later also. So, but the effect is always the same. The coagulation is a big problem.
Right.
Yeah.
And how many patients have come in that were vaccinated where you've tested their blood?
At least 60, 70.
60 to 70 patients. And one of the common things that you've seen is corrupted blood amongst.
It's the coagulation, and also we have actually thrombocytes, platelets in the blood, and they can coagulate together and can build a kind of coagulation clots. And this is to see also a lot in these patients. They have to coagulation.
Can you define coagulation for people who don't understand it? What does coagulation mean?
So at one point you get blood cells like this, that they come out and stuck all together. Yeah, this causes coagulation, but also the build-up of bigger thrombocytes, so thrombocytes, clots, and fibrin. Fibrin are these little strings in the blood. They're just like a web what they're creating, and this web can really make your blood really sticky and not flowing.
Right. These are your photos, right, of your micrographs of your patients who have taken the vaccine.
The vaccine. So what we see here, that the red blood cells are all stuck on each other, so they stick like pancakes, we could say. But it's a coagulation problem, so they're stuck on each other. And what we also see is this big thing here in the blood, which I cannot explain exactly what it is because I cannot analyze it deeper here with my equipment, but I can assume it's a graphene oxide or something. But
So you have you ever seen this before?
no,
You have never seen this before.
No.
How many years have you been practicing?
30 years.
So Dr. Peggy has been practicing for 30 years, guys. She's never seen anything like this. Let that sink in for a moment. She's been testing blood for 30 years and she has never seen this unknown object here, okay? Now, Dr. Young has the equipment to test what that is, right? He's got, what is it called?
Electronic microscope.
Electronic
Yeah.
microscope, which allows him to test the actual substance more so to see what it is, what it's made out of. So he doesn't only have micrographs, but he can actually test what this is. Again, this is unknown. Dr. Peggy doesn't know what that is because she only has this at this point, right? You only have that. All right, so here we're seeing an aggregate of the blood cells of the vaxxed person aggregating together, getting stuck, sticky, and that's not good.